Hello and welcome to another episode of Underarm Cricket Podcast. This is episode number 5, where college friends talk about all things Indian cricket. Today I have Surya and Vatsal as your regular host, and I'm back from a break last weekend. In this episode, we are gonna touch base upon the Women's Premier League and IPL and how it impacts the Indian cricket team, especially for this season, and any learnings given this is an ODI World Cup year. Welcome to the show, Mr. Vatsal and Surya. How are you guys?
Doing well. Happy to be back. Uh, so, what's up with you guys?
Yeah, welcome back, Shastri. Hope you had a good break, good
Yes.
vacation. Yeah, no, sure, happy to be back. There's so many things going in the cricket world, and I think it's good start, as you mentioned about the WPL. Today there was a final. It's a good start for the Women's Premier League, which is I think, going to inspire a lot many girls. So that's a very positive change for Indian society itself.
And excited for the IPL as well. Uh, the biggest Premier League.
Yeah. I mean, I got a chance to catch most of the WPL games, and there are a few key points that I want to talk about.
Yep.
Uh, I watched the final today as well from second innings. I think I mostly caught up on the game where the game was lost by Delhi and how Mumbai Indians showed their dominance in this championship. Yeah. So for me, some positives for WPL is how domestic cricketers, especially who don't have exposure, especially in women's cricket, they don't have exposure at all. They hardly get to play with Indian senior women's as well. So
Yep.
them playing with international cricket them playing on an international stage with international players is a very, very big step ahead for them, not only in their skill, but also in their mindset. Some of the players that were interviewed, they said that they're they are learning a lot by being in the dressing room. Say under 19 players like Parshavi Chopra, there is one Tita Sadhu in Delhi Capitals. There are a lot of youngsters who are rubbing their shoulders with Alisa Healy, Alisa Perry. Yeah, I mean that is a huge, huge, huge learning for Indian women upcoming players because they don't find such platform to express their talent in. One of the renowned performances is Shriyanka Patil. She plays for
Yeah.
RCB. She
Yes.
could be playing for India soon. And there are some
Sooner.
veterans. Yeah, there are some veterans like Saika Ishak who was around in domestic circuit but never got a platform to showcase her skills. When you ask the question for domestic cricketers, say like did what did you learn from this IPL? Like we got a chance not only with international players, but we got a chance to play with our own Indian senior players, and that's a huge step. And this is just the beginning. I feel if we keep the same intensity and if we keep the same skill set, I think this five-team event is gonna slowly turn into a six and then slowly into eight-team event, just like how the IPL was initiated. Few findings for me personally was Sriyanka Patil. Uh, there was this uh, Parshavi Chopra. She's just 16. She plays for UP Warriors. There is there's one more player in RCB who won them the game. She scored a half century. The left-hander, I don't. Sorry about that. I do not remember the names. But these are few talents to watch out for. What did you get? What did you guys? Did you guys get a glimpse of them, or did you guys get to watch the game?
I honestly was very excited at the beginning of the WPL because I mean this is a real big thing in Indian cricket and women's has been waiting for a Premier League, such a Premier League like that. And what I've noticed is like the very big players, especially the all-rounders around the world, they were leading um, the sides and they were taking care of the domestic players, which has very less exposure to the international cricket or, as you mentioned, even the Indian international cricketers. That was great part. So first couple of games, it was exciting trying to identify, see the talents or how the players are gelling up. Um, like the first phase of it, I noticed a couple of you know the combinations didn't work, like the miscommunications on the field or on-field calls and unnecessary runouts, all these things. It was like noticed as like a beginner's mistakes of a players who are not into the bigger picture. So but later on the WPL went well, and yeah, as you mentioned, what I picked entire WPL was like Shreyanka Patil. She almost won games for RCB multiple times, but yeah, couldn't pass through the line. She could learn definitely. Yeah,
Yeah, there was a tweet by Harsha Bhogle who summed it up. Basically, he was on ground and watching, covering most of the games. He said Saika Ishak, Parshavi Chopra, and there is this leg spinner Asha Shobana, Tanuja Kanwar, Priyanka Patil, and
yeah,
some senior players like Kiran Navgire who are there in domestic circuit, and Hemalata and Kanika Ahuja. So
yeah.
these are the
Hemlata,
players
yeah.
that, yes, Kanika Ahuja was the
So
RCB left-hander.
yeah, when you mentioned Hemlata, right? She was a part of the Gujarat, I guess. So in most of the Gujarat's games, I've noticed her contributing runs. Like even though Gujarat is like losing wickets or regular intervals or there is a collapse, she was the one who stood like a backbone of the team. She was scoring, like took the responsibility as a senior player, which is really great to see. And Saika Ishak as well. She was a surprise, like in the first few games, first phase of the WPL. She was like regularly picking up wickets, getting those breakthroughs during the power plays and all. Um, all in all, like it was a great league, and didn't get a catch today's game, but I was following the commentary, and I felt it might go into the close game, but Mumbai Indians, they just shown their strength in the team. Like I mean, they were too strong. End of the day, what I noticed from the WPL is like Mumbai Indians was too strong, and then Delhi was the second contender, and rest of them are all part of the league. Um, so yeah, but this will only grow. It is just a you know lot of all rounders in those two teams, and that made an impact. But it will just grow eventually with the time. But it's such a good league to start.
Yeah, no, that's almost summed up most of the things. So I would just make a larger point because most of these details I'm in agreement with you all. So a couple larger points on this WPL. What I found is the amount of audiences throughout the tournament coming, engaging with the team, it's a very big positive. I'm not just saying because people have to support women's cricket or men's cricket. We don't want to go in that politics of those things, but it's always a good thing that when most of the people for playing for country or playing particular sport have increased number of opportunities, and that when the opportunities increase, them having the chance to play and participate at the highest level when there is interest, right? The interest building takes time. We saw that, remembering, even though people support women's cricket or they want to engage, first step is always difficult because difficult to know who are the players, naming of those, getting used to with the teams, etc. But this tournament gave that platform for the girls, for the ladies, that most of their names now becoming common in discussions, conversations as player names. So I think this is a big stage for them, and I like IPL, WPL did not disappoint. Most of the times, what happens is finals define the tournament, and this series we saw that there were not all the teams in contention for the tournament, for the trophy. But at the same time, two best team played for the final, and the final was not one-sided. Even though at the beginning it felt like
Yeah,
that Mumbai bowlers are doing good, but at
right.
the end, Delhi gave amazing fight. They stayed in the game for a while, for few things, very small margin of errors. But if few wickets fall here or there of Mumbai Indians, Mumbai would have been in much more pressure. So overall, I would say the tournament was a success, regardless of who won. Even though I'm an MI supporter, it's not about the MI winning, but it was more about increased number of opportunities for the ladies, right? So that was a
Yeah.
big
Yes.
win. So I had
Yep.
that positive outlook. Now I know lot many of our colleagues, our friends getting into knowing more into it. So that's a good positive.
Yep. Yeah. And they scored 54 in last four. So 54 in last four, and
Yeah,
that's a 10th wicket. It was 10th wicket
10th wicket
partnership.
stand. Yeah,
Yeah. So it
that's
was
a
pretty good.
real big
It was not.
surprise. Yeah.
Yeah. It was not one-sided final at any given at any given point of time. If they had like 20 more runs, I think it would have been more closer. But Mumbai showed their class and came out a champion side. Pretty good. I think it was
I
a
I
pretty good season.
I think yeah, not just Sastry, not just that 20 more runs,
Yep.
couple wickets here or there, right? Like
Yep.
for
Yeah.
example, Harmanpreet getting out a little early, or the little
Nat
bit of
Saivor.
luck going in the
Yeah.
side of Delhi, right? So if
Yep.
Delhi has a little bit support of luck, yeah,
And hats off to Meg Lanning's captaincy once again. She has already proven how good of a captain she is for
Yes.
Australia, getting titles on titles, and she led this Delhi team like she did an amazing job even after like 70 that mindset, right? This is what you get, this is what you learn from international players. Their mindset and how they approach the game are very like important things that a domestic player can pick up. And I think
Yeah.
Indian cricket, especially ladies, is heading in the right direction. We are gathering crowd now, so hopefully it takes off. It becomes a premier league for everyone in the near future.
Yeah. They were almost in the game, almost until 35 overs, right? 20, and then the next 15
Yep.
overs of the
Yep.
second innings.
Yep.
So that shows the, even though it's a low scoring, and yeah, that was a really great thing for the young players working, playing under her captaincy.
Yep. Are you guys excited about IPL now? Once women's team is done, so are you guys excited about the men's IPL now?
Tracking the schedule, just
Eh,
counting on the days.
to be honest, I don't remember the squads for entire 10 teams, but uh, it might be a pretty good season because we are heading towards home and away format. So
Yes.
home support will be, and most of the teams would try to capitalize on their home games and try to win seven of them. Not sure if I mean, I think there are marquee games that CSK MI will play twice, no matter what, and RCB MI and RCB CSK will play twice for sure. So that there is a slowly rivalry that is building on, and there might be Rajasthan versus what was Punjab. That's another rival. It's similar to MI versus CSK rivalry now. So Rajasthan versus Punjab
Pakistan
is a
versus
game.
Afghanistan,
Yeah.
Pakistan versus Afghanistan rival. Yeah, it's building quite fast.
So they changed the format to home and away. I personally feel like this IPL might not like I'm watching it for certain players that I want to look out for, especially Prithvi Shaw. Ricky Ponting came out and said like he is gonna have a breakout season this year. Hopefully he does. Hopefully he
Yes.
makes the case for his national team selection. And I'm wanting to see there is a bowler called Avinash Singh in RCB. Balls 155 clicks. He got drafted and picked up by RCB this season. So I want to see how he gets going in international cricket. Hopefully he gets a game. There is Yash Dhul. I want to see him getting more chances, and I don't know if CSK will do that, but I personally want. There is a player called Sheikh Rashid from under
Yeah.
19s. Technically very sound. Like when you watch him, it's like you feel like you're watching a technically sound player. I believe MS and CSK management won't give shit and won't give any chances to him this season at all. Like
It's all about that. You know the template, right? It's all
yeah,
about spark. So there is
yes. So yeah, maybe they will ignite the fire and maybe the best will come out of them. But these are some players that I want to look out for. I want to look out for Yashasvi Jaiswal as well. See how he goes, because he is a top order batsman who can ball a little, and Indian team needs such kind of player who's a top order batter, can ball a little, and is a
And a
lefty.
lefty.
Yes, double quotes, a lefty. So I'm looking forward to him this
Who
IPL.
who you said last bowler?
Jaiswal.
Yashasvi, Yashasvi Jaiswal.
Oh
Jaiswal.
yeah, yeah.
He's a top
Yes,
order
yes.
From
batter,
Yeah.
like opener.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
he
no,
didn't bowl in the
I think
IPL, right?
lefty is utmost in bowling and batting both. So at this point,
Yeah,
any lefty addition is a welcome
Yeah.
addition.
So I saw a tweet from Irfan Pathan that we might see few left armers this season, left arm pace bowlers, but unfortunately both of them got injured. So
we have Arshdeep and uh, Jaydev already.
no, no. Arshdeep was already
Um,
handed his debut. Are there any new players who can actually come onto the international scene?
I,
Right
Jay,
now.
I think it's I would say not just the new players, but also the
Mhm.
players who came to the international scene and then got on into the cold water because of an injury, perhaps. Say, for example, Natarajan, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He came into the international scene pretty quickly, got chances, got injured, and then it's a tough road ahead for him. So for those kind of players who already tested the Indian side, might be a big season. They need to deliver. If they do perform well, there would be increased opportunities because we dearly miss left-arm bowler, right?
yeah,
Most of the people who understand the game or try analyzing, not just for example, we mentioned this over and over again. Skills are ex-cricketers. Analysis is different. That's where we come in. That's where the fans come in. That's where the data analysis, etc. Everybody's opinion have to be weighted compared to the analysis and how the games look like. Some of those players also are analysts. For example, Ashwin. He also mentioned that the left-arm bowler is missing after Zach. We
yeah.
didn't have, and therefore we're missing that dimension in bowling. Uh, we can do the analysis, and we would come with the same conclusion. So, I would say Natarajan would have a big opportunity, big season. Um, for him to come back in the Indian side is a big thing for
But
himself.
he would be only
Second would
coming back.
be the
He would be only making a case for T20s, right? Sorry to cut you there, but he would
for
be
now.
only making a case for T20s, not
Yes.
ODIs, not yeah.
Yes.
But for now, he also got fast track for the India Australia Test series also. So if there is a potential, teams might fast track. Problem
Mhm.
is we have some potential, but they get those chances. So that's also another problem of selection policy. We discussed that in the last episode. Most of the players performing well have to wait 2 years. But at the same time, if they're performing, sometimes they get fast track into almost all separate formats. We saw with Sky, and now we saw with Gill also. Once he's performing, it was supposed to be ODI format player. However, now he's getting chances in T20s and tests, right? So there is an opportunity for those players. Second, I would say there's another player, Chetan Sakaria. He has been,
Yes.
yeah, he has been good, but not excellent. So
Mhm. Yeah,
good opportunity for him out from the left
I
arm
would
bowling
I would
perspective.
try to fast track Umran Malik into test side. Just be with the squad. Just be in the squad. I don't know his fitness will allow to play 5-day game, but I think he has to be there with the test squad in the finals.
First,
I
I
believe
want
India's
His
him
squad.
in the
fitness,
ODIs at least. I want him to give in chance. At least he make uh, big case in the ODIs because we have the World Cup coming. So Umran and no injuries, please, in this IPL. It is just before the World Cup, and we don't want to lose the bigger players in the IPL. So we might have to make sure that the workload management or no player is like tearing their stuff and going beyond their limit or damage their injuries or anything.
yeah, so learning for only ODI might be different, but at the same time, I think left arm dimension also would be important. So obviously, Umran Malik is a X factor for us. Surely he
Right.
should be stick around. He should be brought upon into variety of formats. Surely, test. I don't think 5 days games are the case. everywhere in the world. For example, if you go South Africa, you have Umran Malik. The games are 2 3 days, right?
Yep.
So 3 or 4 spells might do the job. So
Yes.
that's surely the case, right? Including in Perth and all other places in Australia. Similarly, if you see, um, maybe not just South Africa, but also Windies, right? We saw Bumrah's success in West Indies tests.
Yeah.
West Indies, yes.
He was excellent. Yeah, he was excellent. So there are places where Umran would be amazing. You don't want to use that kind of player. You rotate him when you have Indian bowlers doing much better in India. For example, Umesh. So you don't want to have somebody bowling 150 for 5 days in India and get him injured. So obviously you have to think all those things. Teams would be thinking all those things, or hopefully I they thinking all those things. That's a separate aspect. But okay, so let me go back to and square the point what I started. Left arm bowlers, Natarajan, who already played, Chetan Sakaria. Unfortunately, Mohsin is injured, but he was looking at one of the good prospects for the Indian team.
Yes.
So he's ruled out. Who else we have in left arm bowling section?
Mukesh Kumar injured apparently
Mukesh
from
Chaudhary.
CSK.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, sorry, Mukesh Chaudhary apparently injured again.
But
So
yeah, we have Arshdeep and then we have they're still playing, right?
yeah, Arshdeep Jaydev. Jaydev is playing for
Jaydev.
Lucknow.
Hmm.
Yeah, Arshdeep. I don't see any other left armers at all. I mean, Irfan. I don't know what like who Irfan Pathan had in his mind, but hopefully some talent comes out of this IPL. Someone has a breakout season.
So
Someone
what?
impresses.
So let me ask you this question. This is sort of like a bugging question for me. So in
Mhm.
an ODI World Cup year, we have
Mm.
ODI World Cup this year. In an ODI World Cup year, you have a tournament like IPL, and we have seen that the IPL performances do help, right? For example, Arshdeep, Natarajan, all these players came from IPL. So if you and Gill also last year winning with Gujarat Titans got him chances into Indian team and he stuck around. Similarly with Ruturaj also. Ruturaj had great season with CSK. He got some chances in Indian team. So IPL performances having the premise that IPL performances help getting into the Indian side.
Mhm.
For the ODI World Cup year, now I'm trying to build a context before I ask the question. What sort of varieties of bowlers we would need, and what are the areas that might be helpful? For example, we had Harshal Patel and Arshdeep coming for the last year World Cup. Harshal deteriorated in form, therefore he was started getting off the 11, and then maybe he's out of the circle right now. Similarly, what are the things we would look? What are the players close to being selected in ODI team? What
One
do you
thing
guys think?
we might also want to see is the spinners, um, which is important because we currently have, of course, not a fixed pool. Kuldeep, Jadu, and Washington they are trying, but I have only seen and Akshar. But if there are any other spinners that we have, or the off spinner that we are missing, uh, and I don't know, maybe backup wicket keeper we already have as Ishan Kishan, um, or any other. Sanju Samson, I'm expecting him to go big again,
Mhm.
similar season because last year he was really great, and yeah, on the top order maybe another left hand opener that I'm expecting maybe would be Yashasvi Jaiswal and then Devdutt Padikkal. We totally forgot about him, and um, I don't know. Are there any lefties? Shikhar Dhawan would be playing, but
Yeah,
he's
his
he's
his
on
contract did
sidelines
not get
now.
his contract got renewed. He is still in the mix.
Yeah,
He
he's
might be a
but
backup
he's in
opener
the C
too.
count. Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
So he's
Yeah, Sastri?
for me, as I told you, right? I mean, this IPL will give you players they might want to try out in international T20s because it's not a T20 year World Cup. This ODI year World Cup. Whatever good talents that are coming from IPL this season might be tried in India's T20I internationals where it is Captain Hardik Pandya is leading, right? So they will. like make it to the squad just because they want some international exposure and playing for the countries to see how playing at IPL level and playing for country is. They will try that uh, those players, but since it's a ODI World Cup year, they are trying to look out for a left arm pacer. I would personally would look out for a left arm pacer or a left arm top order batter who can ball. These are, see, when you look at last World Cup in India, 2011 World Cup India, we won it because couple of like out of our top seven, three could ball. Yusuf Pathan
Yes.
could ball, Suresh Raina could ball, Yuvraj
Virender
Singh could
Sehwag.
ball, Virender Sehwag could roll his arm over. So
Mention
I
the
see,
elephant in the room, right? Yuvraj.
yeah, yes,
We
Yuvraj.
haven't replaced him.
yeah, we
We
No,
we
haven't
no,
haven't
replaced
no.
him.
replaced we haven't replaced him at all. And to win a World Cup, I mean, you need one top order lefty who can ball, like just contribute some like a couple of overs or 4 overs. Yuvraj was a part-time bowler, but he was the second, third highest wicket taker for us in that tournament. Yeah, he
Yes.
got important breakthroughs as well, scored centuries, and that's why he was man of the tournament. So in order to replicate that, we need some, like you cannot just rely on one skill of the player and
And we
expect
had the
them to win.
backup options as well. The Suresh Raina, Yusuf Pathan, whoever
Yeah,
can replace, and they can also roll their arm
yeah.
if whenever
May,
needed.
may, may, may Dalaga. You had a couple more. So
So I think personally I would be looking forward to Jaiswal. I would fast track him. Jaiswal,
yeah.
Jaiswal, Shaw. Uh, these
So
are
so the,
ODI.
so hang on. So if you go fast, so the problem here is
Mhm.
this is a bigger problem than what you guys think about this. Okay, for example, if given that Rohit is the captain and he would be, so barring injuries, Rohit and Gill look like that they would take it till the World
Start.
Cup. So if
Yeah.
you're looking for somebody, so almost all these are backup conversations. Okay, backup conversations are useful but not of importance. So let me ask you this. Would you break Gill and Rohit's partnership? For example, I would answer also, I have some thoughts on this. Would you break Rohit and Gill's partnership in opening for ODIs, especially in the World Cup, if you have an option or if you have some left?
If personally, I would not break it, but if the team balance requires for me to break it to accommodate a left-hander who can ball, then I would break it. Then I would break it for sure. If the team balance requires, so if there is a number four spot and a number four spot empty right now, right? So say Jaiswal has a terrific season with the bat, and with the ball he chips in with a couple of wickets given Sanju Samson's captaincy. He will get a few overs. He might get a few overs, and he picks a few wickets as well. I think we should exploit on that skill, like make him play. And I would have rather have Gill at four just for the team balance. Uh, for the team balance, I would have rather Gill at four. But apart from that, if there is like this is just extraordinary scenario. If there is not, then I would not break Rohit and Gill unless and until there is an injury. For me, at
But
least.
still, they need to have enough sample to test that out. Like
Yes. Yeah,
even if
that's why
we have,
they have
they
14
have the Asia
games.
Cup, I guess,
Yeah, they have 14
after the IPL.
games. No, not the
Um,
IPL. After the IPL, we are going to final of WTC and then we are straight heading to Caribbean to play the next World Test Championship cycle. Two test matches, three one
oh,
dayers. Yes.
but we have the Asia Cup coming up
September.
sometime.
It's September, just
Okay.
before the World Cup. Just like this year's World Cup, last year's World Cup, where we had T20 Asia Cup, right? We will have ODI Asia Cup World Cup, ODI Asia Cup, 15 over Asia Cup before the World Cup. Yeah, I
Okay.
would not break, to answer Vatsal's question, I would not break Rohit and Gale's opening partnership unless it is affected by injuries or it is absolutely necessary to have teams balance.
Yeah. But I would rather look. I mean, the way our management deals with it so far, what we have seen. What I would see through is from this IPL, I would see a number four batter, very consistent, and then who can roll his arm. at the number four position, like who can bowl, who can bat, and especially he's a spinner, not a fast bowler, because World Cup is in India and we need an extra spinner always handy, who can bowl 2 or 3 overs or 5 overs on the trot. So I would
Yeah,
rather explore that number four. Um,
yeah.
so that is the only position that is concerning us for a while, since 2017, I guess, and
No,
yeah.
no, I very much disagree. Very much disagree. So, what did you say about Gill and Rohit?
Me or Surya?
No, no, no. I
Surya,
was
yeah.
talking about the number four position. I was talking about the number
But
four position.
yeah, what is your take on Gill and Rohit?
No, I wouldn't break the Gill and Rohit's partnership, at least for now, because it is going well. And what our team management would do as well, like I'm assuming they won't break it as of now, just before the World Cup. So I would rather see through the number four position spot, where we can find someone who can bowl spin.
Here's a thought. Here's a thought. The like 0.10 power minus 9 or minus 10 to the chance. What if Kohli plays at 4, like Sachin did at for number of years, right? What if Kohli plays at 4, Gill at 3, find a lefty opener who can bowl a bit? What do you think? Completely changes
My
the
personal
balance.
thought, yeah, my personal thought. I have mentioned this most of this when I talked about experiments. Why experiments? Because we need to get to the best combinations possible for the nation. I was mentioning when it wasn't apparent that KL Rahul is almost similar to what Rohit and Kohli offers. Offer. Okay, both accelerates after 15 to 20 balls. Sort of like that profile, you keep having the similar profile is something I keep repeating this quote over and over again. You keep doing the same mistake over and over again and expect different results is insanity. We saw this with the Mitchell Stark in this last ODI series against Australia. You have top order, which is of all righty batsmen, 3 to 4 top righty batsmen. Until when we would keep losing knockout games, I'm thinking that it should open team management's or selectors' eyes and give them an idea that, you know what, we need some difficult calls here. This is the area we need to make a difficult call. Uh, Again, it won't give you 100% guarantee or security that a lefty batsman won't get out early on. He also can get out early on. Lefty also, there is a possibility.
Right.
But at the
Yes.
same time, having said that, think about that you have to at least do something for a bowler. We saw that when lefty batsman came to play, Mitchell Stark was bowling wide balls. So it does a little bit of change in line for a bowler, right? So if all three batsmen keep coming or all four top batsmen keep coming and the bowler sets in rhythm and bowling an in-swinging bowler, left-arm bowler, we saw
It's
that in
it's kind
2019,
of
we
a
saw that in
practice. It is kind of a
yeah, we
practice
saw
for a
that
left-arm bowler. Same batter, same
exactly.
batting style,
Yeah.
Yeah.
same kind of shots, just pitch in the same ball.
So
That's it.
So because somebody is putting runs, it doesn't matter. I would say why it won't matter because in knockout games we have seen in 2019, sorry, 2017, 2019, 2021, and at some point 2022 also that we need to offer something new, especially in top four, top three, some variety. Everybody having similar approaches it's sort of like not trying logical solutions. So to have varieties of experiments would get us to this combination, different combination. So I would in fact prioritize some left-handed opener. Maybe at least try with Dhawan. Maybe Rohit Sharma can come at 4. Who knows? Okay. Virat Kohli could come at 4. Gill could come at 4. Try experiments. It won't
Yeah.
hurt us, especially before the World Cup.
Yeah. I mean, if you're selecting a left-hander, but select a left-hander who can at least bowl. That is my thing. Because we cannot win unless We need some overs. They should not be of only one single skill. They should be of multiple skills. At least one in top five should be of multiple skills. Sehwag sometimes
Any,
when like I remember one instance, Champions Trophy 2002. Like we were losing against South Africa. Like South Africa were 184 for one. Herschel Gibbs got cramps and he retired hurt, and they just needed something about 100 to get about 15 or 16 overs. But Sehwag rolled his arm over, got couple of wickets, and that's it. We won the game. So I mean, there has to be
yeah,
some experiment, like you said. There has to they have to try it. There is nothing bad because you will already because people other teams will analyze us. They'll say these guys are weaker against left arm quicks. Just ball in the same areas, you'll get them wicket, or you'll get them to nick off, or you'll get them LBW. So what makes us stand out in those knockout games? By experimenting little ahead before the World Cup or in games against Afghanistan or maybe some other, like we have series against West Indies, you can experiment there. So we have Asia Cup. Asia Cup, we are in group of Pakistan and a qualifier. So we can test these experiments against that qualifier team, right? So result, I
yes.
know we would win, but we can test that experiment.
And
Yeah,
the
so
key takeaway from
priority of winning low key games versus priority of winning World Cup knockout game also have to be measured differently. For example, you trying combinations and then you lose.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the fans would be okay if your end result ends up in winning the World Cup.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I don't know if they are taking this, but the recent Mastercard loss, or Mastercard trophy loss, the key takeaway should be like the same template: the left arm bowler, and then our righty batsman's on the
And
top, and
I
we
was
fade
surprised that they did not give chance to any new player, that they stick to
any
the
new
same
player. Exactly.
11 3 games. I don't know
Not even
why.
the bowler. They just tried Akshar, and they just replaced Akshar with Shardul after
Shardul.
the first ODI. That's it. Rest of it all. And Rohit came in to the second ODI, and Ishan went
I
back
don't know
to
why are
bench.
they
That's it.
making Shami work hard for a meaningless bilateral. I don't know why. He has a more important game in June. I don't know
And
why
and
are
you
they
picked
making.
you picked a left arm pacer Jaydev Unadkat, and he was just warming the bench. Umran Malik warming the bench. So I don't know why. What is the purpose of
Washington
picking
Sundar
them?
as well warming the bench.
Washington
Yeah,
Sundar warming the bench.
maybe all habits die hard. So okay, let's get to this one.
Hmm.
Number four, I have a very interesting point to make here. In my point of view, which might work, but at the very least, team should try this as an experiment. Okay, even though there are opportunities for everybody else, and it's missing, completely missing in the mainstream conversation. What I'm trying to say is, number four spot. The players who have been successful for India at number four spot, one of the previous example, the most successful example in this episode, we just discussed a little bit of that player, Yuvraj Singh. Do you have anybody who is close to his mentality? Because number four spot was crucial for India in 2011 World Cup. I think instead of pushing Surya Kumar more at number four, or instead of replacing him with somebody else, or instead of
Jaddu.
just focusing on current day players, I would say if you have somebody who can have high workload, for example, like Yuvraj Singh, fielding, batting, bowling, and the mentality, not just the bowler, sorry, not just the player can bowl or bat, but the mentality of finishing the inning whenever needed. For example, Yuvraj Singh did that in the 2011 World Cup. Whenever he needed to stick around, he stuck around. Whenever he needed to accelerate, he accelerated. Who is that player in the Indian circuit? My point of view, I would say Hardik Pandya. Now, I would give you a couple of examples if you're ready for it. Gujarat Titans last season. Game number four. He stuck around in most of the games. He had multiple 70s. He made sure that the team passes through the finishing line.
Yeah.
Gujarat Titans
And
team wasn't stellar team. One sec. Gujarat Titans team wasn't the stellar team. Okay, it wasn't the best team in the IPL. Other teams were better than Gujarat Titans, but the players' mentality matters a lot at number four, and you have to identify the players who are not just match winners. Match winner is also an aspect, but we also have to identify players who are match series winners, right? You want to win the tournament, so who are tournament winner players? Give bigger roles, give bigger tasks to them. And then if you have Surya Kumar Yadav, Sanju Samson, push them to 6, 7, 5, right? And even though they fail, that's okay. People say, oh, it works negatively for those players. No, sometimes it works positively because Surya Kumar can come and smash in last 10 overs, last 5 overs, if he's coming at 6, number 7. Or maybe not just Surya Kumar, you can use Sanju Samson or whoever it might be. But I would personally try experimenting and give 5, 10 games if possible, or at least 2, 3 games to Hardik Pandya at number 4.
And to support your case, we tried that in 2017 after Champions Trophy, where Australia we won the series 4-1, and in every game Hardik Pandya came at 4, and he changed the game. We were 87 for 5, he came at 4 in first ODI itself. I think it was in Chennai. He changed the game. He took apart Zampa, leg spinner. He took apart Zampa. He smacked. I mean, this was like 5 6 years back, but I think he can make a very good case at number 4
Yes,
because they tried in that 5 games and he was successful in 3. So 3 out of 5 is like
right.
say almost close to about 60 70%, 60%, right? So 60% success rate. But I think they should look into this aspect. If not, if they feel not, they can try Jaddu as well. Just accommodate one lefty in there. Jaddu can also do that role because his batting in the last 3 years has taken a next level. So if they want to stick with the same combination top of the order, those three, Rohit, Gill, Kohli, they can try Jaddu at 4 and try a specialist finisher like Samson, or like if they find like some other batter at especially finishing the games, Sky or Samson, they can be slotted at 6. That's
Or
like what
Akshar.
I feel. Yeah, or Akshar. So if Jaddu plays at 4, then Pandya plays at 6, right? So, and that's how
Yeah.
7 will be Surya Kumar
And
Yadav or
I'm
someone
more
as
inclined
well.
on the Hardik than Jadu because Hardik has shown potential in every crucial knockout games that he has played. Like when the team under pressure or when we are struggling or there is a collapse, he made sure that he's contributing with the bat. He's reading the conditions well. He's playing according to the situation. We have seen like just in the last year semi-finals, right? We were like uh, we were collapsing, and Hardik led us to that 165 total. Of course, we lost by 10 wickets, but that's it. At least we got some fighting total. And then even in the 2017 Champions Trophy final, Hardik was the one who was um, like smacking sixes against Saeed Ajmal, and he was going that attacking option or attacking mindset, like counter attack. He do have different kinds of when you mention that kind of a mindset that we need from the Yuvraj Singh, we can see that potential mindset in the Hardik Pandya. He likes to take responsibility, and when he is taking that responsibility, he tries to make sure that um, at least he is making it count. We have seen that with Gujarat Titans, as you mentioned, and then for India as well. There are many crucial games that Hardik Pandya has won, but with the ball, with the bat, he always is a special player for us.
Yeah, so I would say I would make a case for that. Try experimenting with couple of things. Bring in lefty opener, regardless of how successful Rohit and Gill are. You need to try because that's been a weak spot for us. Second point is number 4 Hardik Pandya, and then I would say apart from that, we
Well,
discussing some of this. Yeah,
the double century from Gill is a blessing in disguise for us. That actually solidified his spot as an opener. I'm still surprising that Ishan Kishan's double hundred was less counted than the Gill, because Gill was consistent though. He was scoring hundreds and he was scoring at more than 80 average for last few years. Yeah, but that's where the problem is. Like, I don't know, or try one down someone else, but they cannot change Kohli's spot because he is a one down chase master or a king, they call it, at one down position. We need him. So I don't know. The 1, 2, 3 is still solidified, I feel. Uh, if they can try it, I would be very happy. But we
Yeah.
do have very less sample size to test it out.
Yeah, but at the same time, what's the point of winning in bilaterals? What's the point of double centuries when your result in the World Cup knockout is always similar in last five, six
Yes.
Five
years?
of
Okay,
them.
so point of this is we should move away from the player statistics, player performance, player stats. We don't need to look who is a great heroic performer or larger than life character. Couldn't focus on that sort of things. We can focus on what are the best combinations. Maybe if after trying almost every other thing, you end up with Rohit Gill, Kohli in top form, so be it. That's okay. But at
Yeah.
least you need to try something different, right? It's not
Yeah.
like that I'm taking a stand against Gill or I'm taking a stand against Rohit or Kohli. But it's just that you need to try something before we end up into knockout stages. And when you end up in knockout stages, those players would have increased confidence because they have already prepared for all the challenges which are coming their way. Okay,
Hmm.
so if you prepare for something, if you practice for something, why think about this? There are professional cricketers, pros, the way we say. They are pros. They've been playing cricket their entire life. They've been playing right now at the highest level, and yet they practice. Why? What's the reason? Because they need to find out the areas because their weaknesses would be encountered, and bowlers would be practicing. Everybody is now analyzing few areas, so they need to stay on top of top of their games. Similarly, we have to try combinations. I think the combinations are very much less explored area in the Indian cricket. It's not for entirety of cricket, right? England team, Australia team, these two teams are trying. We discussed this in the last episode for those who want to dig deeper into these ideas. So let me come back to this point. You need to experiment regardless of who has solidified their sport because finally we want to win in knockouts or the World Cup. We want to lift the trophy. Second thing is if you have lefty such as Jadeja and Akshar, right? I think it's a welcome thing that they tried to play both of them into 11, and I think that's a welcome addition for me. So if you have those two, you need to split them, right? They shouldn't be both. They both shouldn't be coming in consecutive numbers.
Right.
You either send Jadeja and then send Kale or Hardik in between them, split them so that there is at least lefty righty combination for extended period of time as much as we can. Apart from that, I would say if a bowler is coming, for example, Surya, you mentioned about the spinner spot. We need to identify, apart from Jadeja and Akshar, we need one more spot for the spinner who could be wrist spinner. I think I now want to go ahead from the betting we discussed a little bit. I want to move into a couple more things, which is first thing is Bishnoi was part of the team and suddenly he's no more part of it. Second is Arshdeep, who played the T20 World Cup, also got into ODIs, and now he's suddenly no more around the team. So if you invested some time on these players, what happened? They are delivering. I don't think Arshdeep and Bishnoi were too bad, such a way that they need to be kicked out from the camp. So what happened? I think those conversations need to happen a lot more.
Agree.
I think,
Because
yeah, they should. After this cycle, they would try personal effort. They will be back. I don't know. I'm surprised why Chahal is in the squad and not Bishnoi. It is totally surprising. I hope he has a very good IPL and makes a comeback. That's what I could like.
maybe, yeah, I was saying that. So if Bishnoi makes a bigger case in the IPL, getting more wickets or something, purple cap, he might get into the ODIs squad and he might get a chance ahead of
Problem is he just
Chahal.
balls faster googlies. That's I think that's the only case that is going against him because he is not like he doesn't ball his regular leg spin flighted often, but he balls fast like a flat googly this thing. So everyone batsman can pick up. Sometimes he's expensive, sometimes he gets wicket, sometimes he is just used for containing runs. So I feel that might be point of view of selectors. Like he's more like bowling more flat tracker googlies rather than you know
Flighted ones.
giving it air for allowing ball to leg spin. His main bowling is leg spin, and if you're not bowling that majority of the balls, you're just basically off spinner. That's it. I think that might go against him. Yeah. What do you think about the new
Yeah,
impact rule as we move on this for discussion? The impact rule, what effect could it have on? I, Personally, I think it would be only used majority of the times in the second innings of the game, either by the chasing team, most probably where they include an extra batter, and by the defending team where they might just include a specific spear, like they would play an extra batsman if they are batting first, just because we can make the team after the toss right now. So that's a new. This is all done due to the dew because we get a lot of dew.
Due factor, yes.
Yes. So in order to avoid to make a balance it out, I think Umran will be impact player for Sunrisers. I'm talking about Sunrisers, but like players like Umran would be an impact player where they'll just come and ball those 4 overs and get replaced. That's it. So I think pretty good rule and creates more like interesting tactics like how American football has they replace this with Sky and something like that. I think let's see how it works out, especially when best of the best play against each other. That will make sure that all the best players will play against best players, right? So if you are not good at batting, you can happily sit, you can just ball, that's it. So
Yeah, so that would um, reduce the imbalance created by the uh, some teams have more all-rounders, some teams doesn't have it, so they can just use a proper batter for batting, proper bowler for the bowling, just replace one each other. That would definitely help them. And the due factor, right? During the due course of the due, you might need a bowler or a batter, a spinner. So your spin doesn't work if there is a dew. So you might need that hit the deck bowler or the some kind of a fast bowler.
yeah,
Uh,
but do you see
so
that rule being used in the first innings, or do you feel that rule being used in the second innings? But personally, it would be used in
definitely,
the second innings.
definitely they
I,
use in the
I
second
my
innings as per the game goes. Like we have the strategic timeouts as well, right? Yeah, Vatsal has something to say.
I would say it won't have that sort of revolutionary effect as of yet, unless you have multiple subs and unless you allow changes in during the game. It is welcome addition if, for example, T20 games, I don't think have huge conditional advantages apart from due. Okay, whereas in test, it would make a huge impact for me. Okay, so for example, if you're playing in India, if you win the toss, you know that um, the Pacers would be a little bit of help, right? In the first few hours every day, in the first few days, you might have that swing. You might extract some swing. So then those things would come in hand. For T20s, I think apart from due is not a big deal. Therefore, I don't think it creates a big deal as much
But
as everybody is
choosing
thinking about.
choosing the team after the toss would
Is a
definitely
big deal.
help.
Yeah.
It's a
So
big deal.
imagine if you're chasing, if Mumbai is
But
chasing, they
yeah.
they could
Mhm.
play an extra batter in place of Bumrah, provided imagine Bumrah was fit and was playing. If the team was chasing, then Bumrah would just play the first innings and then just sit out in the second, and they can bring an extra batter, right? So imagine
Uh, so,
Jasprit Bum.
uh, uh, so, ha- can you explain the rule generally in a way that everybody
Yeah.
understands?
So impact player rule is that at the toss, after the toss, you get to know whichever team is batting first and batting second, right? So you can select a team after the toss. That is first rule. The second rule is impact players. You will have list of three players apart from the playing 11. You will have list of three Indian players. Impact rule is only applicable for Indian players, except
Oh,
if
this
your
is great.
if your main 11 has only three overseas, then you can use the impact player for overseas player. But if your main 11 has four overseas players, you can only use the impact player for Indian players. So
Indian player.
out
Yeah.
of those three players, you can replace one player from the playing 11 at any given point of time in the game. At any given point of time.
Okay. So, so I agree. So impact would be helpful. Selection of team, I think usually they might have prepared those two sheets before even they come to the toss, right? So sort of like they would have prepared already. I don't think selection would play a lot of I don't see many factors being affected due to the selection for the bowling or batting after the toss. But just due factors, yes, I agree. Pacer,
Mhm.
spinner, those decisions might differ. Impact player, yes, I agree. Impact player rule would have bigger impact because of if the bowler is like Chahal, Bumrah, you might wanna switch with the batsman. So those things would be. I think still we're missing something. What are more details of this impact player rule?
One more thing, I assume the benefit of the impact player. What I feel is like you give a Indian player, I like the domestic player, a chance. Like there might be a bowler in the domestic circuit, and you have it in the squad. He might be warming the bench, but you want that extra bowler. You can pick him. So he'll get a chance in the game. He'll bowl 4 hours. He'll sit down, and then you can have an Indian batter like Surya Kumar have it replaced, right? So you have that, like we have 9 teams right now. So
10
those
teams.
10, right? Sorry. So 10 teams. So those 10 extra players will get extra chances. See, for example, in the in the recent ODI series, we have the problem like we are not using our players who are warming the benches. So we can use those players while bowling
Yeah.
and change them while batting.
Basically you're playing with 12 people, but these are the main
Exactly.
top level views. Impact player only for Indian unless three overseas in the main squad, and you can replace
Yeah,
any
yeah.
at any time of the innings. Suppose imagine if you are a power play bowler like Bhuvi, he bowls his 4 overs in the power play, and he can replace Bhuvi with some other death over bowler like Natarajan can do the same.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, so that is
Mm.
advantageous over there. So if your batting line is sorted, then what you can do is you can specifically ask Bhuvi to bowl the first 4 overs of the power play and then replace
Yeah.
him with Natarajan who can just bowl Yorkers at the end.
That
90.
does make sense. So impact player
Yeah,
would, yeah, but I think there are how many substitutes they need to mention before
three
during the
Three.
toss?
substitutes.
Five?
Three, three,
Three
three,
it seems.
No, I think there are. Okay, all right.
three.
Maybe it's
11 plus
five. Let me
3,
just.
11 plus 3. So out of those three, you have to select one.
Okay.
Yes.
But the point that you mentioned is really interesting, Shastri. Like Bhuvi bowling the first four and last four, you bring in the Natarajan. Like the
Yeah,
teams like CSK who doesn't have more bowling options, they might use more often
yes.
that way. But 90% of the time, I see this rule can be used during the second innings itself, based
Yes.
on how the game is going on, like based on the course of the game or the imbalance
Yeah.
that they have
So
during the strategic
base,
timeouts, they might
yeah.
change it.
Basically, if you're defending the score, right? In the second innings, if you're defending the score, you might have a specialist power play bowler, you might have a specialist death over bowler, and they both can bowl
Yeah.
4 overs each. So imagine you'll get 8 overs
Exactly.
of those.
Yeah.
With
So
only
play.
one
So
player.
players. Yeah. So players like Deepak Chahar, if CSK bats first,
Yeah.
and then in the second innings after the power play, Deepak Chahar might just be substituted,
Yeah,
right?
yep,
Right.
Uh, that's true. I just read IPL would allow maximum of five substitute to be listed
o-
during the
okay,
toss. Okay,
right,
but just only one player
okay.
can be
I thought it was three.
substituted.
Sorry,
Changed.
sorry. Okay.
So
Yeah.
is it similar to
Okay.
the super sub rule, or
Yeah, similar. No,
is it
no.
similar?
So Super Sub was like it's similar, but it's not completely uh like that. If he can bowl a 4 overs, then like super sub was like if the sub has bowled 10 overs, the sub cannot bowl, right? So it's not like this. If the main player bowls 4 overs, the
Oh,
substitute player
yes.
also can bowl 4 overs.
Okay, so he has an extra
Yes,
that
so he
benefit
can
of
do. He
doing
can
his job
completely act
again.
as a different player. Yes.
Yes, got it.
Super sub was like if you ball your
So here,
quota, you cannot ball.
Yeah, the replaced
so
player
in this
cannot ball.
impact player can come during any point in the game, not just in the innings, right?
No,
Yes,
any
yes, any
point in the
point.
game between any ball.
Okay.
I think so. There's a
Between the over also? That is an
yep,
interesting
yep,
take.
yeah.
Okay.
That's why it's power play overs, right? So, and imagine you did not do an impact player rule until the 19th over, and you are defending what 20 runs. You get your impact
Yeah,
player, he defends that over, done. You win the game.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. And also you can see the situation of
No,
the
no,
game,
but
right? For
I think it's
example,
14 overs. There's a asterisk that I think it's 14 overs or something. I'm not sure. Just you have to check that. It
yeah,
has
I'm
to
not
be
aware
replaced
of it
over.
exactly.
Yeah, like
Otherwise, it's very
the
surprising because
I'm sure,
if you
I'm
lose
sure,
if you lose top order wickets, right? Bring in
Yeah.
a top order.
I'm sure the first week of IPL is all about figuring out these new
Who
rules.
your impact player
Not only
is.
not only to the management, it is also to the fans as well to understand clearly how this can be helpful. There might be even more benefits as well, I guess, with this rule. But I think they applied this in, I think it is in Dubai
So it's
T20
four
League.
substitutes. Yeah, it's
R-
four substitutes. As I'm reading the Cricinfo article, it's four substitutes.
Mhm.
So 11, 11 plus
Okay.
4. So you have to pick from
Okay.
4,
Okay.
and the replaced player cannot
Okay.
take part in the match further in the not even as a substitute fielder. No, only for Indians unless it's a 3 overseas player in the playing 11.
Yeah, that's a
Same
good
10 people.
good point,
Yeah,
I would say.
only 10 wickets. They will be allowed to bowl their full quota of 4 overs irrespective of the number of overs bowled by the player they are replacing. I don't
Yeah.
think there is any rule on that. Like at what over it cannot be like it can be implemented, but I don't think there is a uh, like a starting point or an end point for that rule to be come into place.
Hmm.
I'm not seeing it.
It's a
Yeah.
very interesting rule,
Yeah, I
though.
think,
Yeah, then I was right before.
but I think then we need to read a little bit on this because
Yes,
there are multiple places giving different numbers of substitute. For example, Times of India has five, ESPN has four.
4. Yeah,
One of the articles, yeah, and all of this is for IPL 2023. Therefore, it means that all of them saying different things. So maybe we need to go to the source of this, find out a
yeah. I
proper
think
reference,
there's a video
and
that
maybe.
Harsha Bogle just made yesterday. You can watch that. It's not Discord group.
Okay,
All right. All
okay.
right. Who are your top fours for tomorrow for this IPL?
Let me see. I already had put something in our Discord. I had that. I think my first is CSK. So the reason
Mm-hmm.
behind that CSK, why? Um, Even before that, I think, no, just before I say anything, let me take a step back. Because we having this podcast, we have to be transparent and tell our allegiances, right? So I've been an MI supporter, Mumbai Indian supporter,
Mm-hmm.
until Gujarat's team came. So now I support two teams because I get to. Gujarat team didn't exist, therefore I can support existing team plus the new team. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
AMI plus GT. So I support Titans, I support Indians. First, for top four, CSK. Why CSK? In all likelihood, MS's last season. And if it's MS's last season, I think they would be highly emotionally motivated, right? The motivation would be much higher because it's a historic run by a special player. So franchise is much attached with this player. He has been exceptional. They have won 4 or 5 trophies, I would say. So
Four.
they, yeah, they almost to the point where it's a last season, end of their relationship, especially as a fans and player. Okay, he could be in mentorship or coach role, but it's a different story. So it's a last season that I think emotional motivation CSK. Second, I would say GT. Again, we are not the best team in the IPL, but I think we are very well balanced team. and most of the players understand their role. And we have improved in couple areas. For example, Kane Williamson, and we have Mavi now for Indian bowler slot. So that's an improvement from the last season. So I think these two areas are improved. GT is number two. Number three, I would put which was that team? I think number three is a. I would not have high confidence in number three and number four. Okay, so number three I would put LSG, Lucknow. Number four I would put MI. Now why MI? Because MI is missing Jasprit Bumrah and spinner. So I don't think MI would have season where they would end up in top two. They could have a season, however, at the same time that they are in bottom half of the points table. But these two teams, given that the management of MI would say they would end up in top four. From the things it looks like. But they need spinner also. So there are areas Mumbai needs to really muster through into something that ends up in top four. The LSG, amazing team. KL has to develop as a captain. There are areas he can improve. So I think he has an opportunity with this team, but they're missing Mohsin Khan. So, but every other team is missing. Like
Yes.
Shreyas Iyer is
Yeah.
missing, and there are varieties of players missing.
What about you, Surya? Tell your allegiance to support which team do you swear your allegiance to and give your top four for this season.
Well, I'm actually a fan of MS and his captaincy. So I started supporting CSK for a while, and of course, even though CSK is my favorite team, but I don't see them in the top two right now because we are lacking bowlers.
Hmm.
Um, I would expect SRH to be in the top two because
Okay.
they have more balanced attack.
Hmm.
They have a better captain now. Of course, they always had a very good captain.
Hmm.
And Markram recently won the SA20 title, and they have special players in their squad, Harry Brook, and very,
Okay.
very good players. So well balanced attack on paper, very good. So SRH would be my number one if they play full
Oh,
potential. And Bowie,
out of four, they'll finish top two.
yeah, SRH would be number one.
Oh.
And Gujarat, I see them in the top four for sure because I believe in the Hardik Pandya's captaincy. The one more captain that I've liked a lot after MS Dhoni was Hardik Pandya because he tries
Hmm.
different combinations. He tries to work with the team. He tries to um, settle his
Hmm.
team before the crucial games. So I see Gujarat is also very good. Even though they don't see strong on the paper, people cannot take them for granted because
Hmm.
as Vatsal mentioned, they have their roles defined and they know what to do. So
Hmm.
Gujarat could be number two, and yeah, for number three and four, I would pick MI and CSK. I'm not sure which one would be the three and which one number four, but MI has a strong thing to make a statement this time because they need to make a comeback after they had a very poor season last year. So I expect Mumbai will bounce back because their management is very good. They find the talent and they groom the uh, um, like their scouting is very good. They groom the local talent and they groom the youngsters as well. So I expect they could come in the number three or number four, and the CSK as yeah, it's an emotional, but um, MS knows how to play in Chennai, and since we have this home and away games, and Chennai is our home now, so I expect CSK to win most of their games in Chennai and few of the away games that would keep them in the safe spot. Um, so that would be my top four.
Okay. So I swear my since from I'm Hyderabad, I swear my order of allegiance would be Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Bangalore. Just because I speak Hyderabad, I speak the languages from those two regions, and I am from the region where Bangalore is located in. So my allegiance falls like that. And my top four would be MI has a point to prove. It would be MI in the top two. I am giving it for MI, although they might have a weaker bowling link, but this time they made a very, very, very good decision in the auction last year by investing in youngsters, and it is gonna pay
Yes.
off this year or next year. But I'm guessing top two, or at least in the top four, third will be MI. Third spot I'm giving it to MI. First spot I'm giving it to. It's a difficult choice, but I am
SRH
giving
say.
it to no, I'm not giving it to SRH. I am giving it to CSK just because of MS captaincy. There are a lot of emotional people involved. They have Stokes right now, so I think MS will get the best out of Stokes. Stokes has never been utilized. I think he was good when he was playing under MS in for Pune, so he will get the best out of him. Uh, I don't- CSK second position will be, I think this time RCB will make it to top for top two. This is what I'm guessing. CSK, RCB, MI, and the fourth is Rajasthan. These are my top
Oh,
fours, and dark horse is SRH for me. So I have these four.
Interesting picks. Very
yeah.
Yeah,
interesting picks.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
Gujarat
still
Yeah,
bet
again.
on the
and
Gujarat cannot
Gujarat.
repeat. Gujarat cannot repeat last season. I cannot because Gujarat had a. They had only three stadiums to focus on. Their team entire world don't know how to perform, but since it's a home and away, they might find a little bit challenging because if you get through the top order, there is no middle order for Gujarat who can save every time, not like. So I believe these are
and,
my four picks.
and yeah, in the form of Miller, Tewatia were exceptional. So
Yeah,
sometimes you have
so
to
it
see
cannot be
them. Yeah.
repeated, right? So that's why.
You have
So
Kane
CSK,
Williamson scoring
yeah,
double
CSK,
hundreds
MI,
recently.
yeah, CSK, MI, what was
I
the third team that I
RCB.
mentioned?
I
RCB
think
RCB, RR.
and Rajasthan.
S
Rajasthan is a
ASC
very good
no
team. That was my
ASCN.
dark horses actually. Like because they have the Butler, Sanju as well, good, and they always keep doing good. So
I
I
might be wrong.
believe that fourth spot
CSK
fighting
might
would be.
replay Delhi might because Delhi lost Pant, right? And that's
Yeah,
where
Delhi lost Pant. That's a big blow, and KKR lost Shreyas. That is a big
Shreyas,
blow as well.
that's why. Otherwise,
So
I
yeah,
would have included
those.
these two teams as well.
Yeah, Delhi we don't. This time at
There
least, I don't know.
there is one more talent coming up in KKR camp, a mystery spinner, Indian mystery spinner who plays for Delhi. He's a 20-year-old. Russell was smacking him for sixes in the practice game, but that might be a talent to look out for as well.
What's his
Yeah,
name?
but at the same time, yeah, yeah. Sorry.
I
What
don't know
was his
what's his
name?
name. I don't know, but he
Okay,
was bowling like break. We will see in the game.
that's cool.
Okay. Disclaimer. Remember, predictions usually come with a big probability or small probability, but some probability of failure. Okay, so almost all
Yep.
of us are aware it could be wrong.
Yeah.
These are
Yeah.
Yeah.
very early on predictions.
Punjab might top the table as well. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I don't see Lucknow also might get into like sneak into players, but I don't want Lucknow to get into CSK and Lucknow. But
I
Okay,
again,
don't see Lucknow.
okay.
I mean, under these big captains, I don't see Lucknow there. Even though they have very strong team, I don't see that. But I feel SRH is strong enough to make it into the top four. Even though I am from
So,
Hyderabad and I don't support Hyderabad, I this time I feel Hyderabad is pretty good.
so who wins everything? Final winners, champ. Who is the champ?
RCB. Isala Cup Namde. RCB. I'm rooting for RCB. This time personally.
ESCN. ESCN.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
rooting for RCB.
Surya, all the way
Um,
through.
it's again odd year. Am I?
Okay.
Yeah, I think one of the top two teams I mentioned, CSK or GT, one of them, very much likely
Just
for
pick a
me,
name.
from my
Yeah,
end.
Pick a team.
CSK because of the emotional support. If MS retires, I think he should even declare it so that the fans know, I would say. There would be some amazing support. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a
Uh,
fan of CSK, but I think they might get through.
yeah. Uh, good.
Like the way Sachin World Cup,
So,
ODI World Cup,
so
similarly
no,
to
no franchise fan is actually rooting for them. I mean, expecting them to win.
When
He's saying RCB, I'm
this
saying
is called
MI,
reverse
and you're
jinx.
saying CSK.
Reverse.
We were like reverse jinxing each other.
Yes. Surya
I,
jinx a lot.
I don't yeah, I don't believe in jinxing. Yeah,
Shastri has
feel
a lot
free.
of
But
superstitions in his mind.
yeah, yeah, I'm not
All
a
right.
religious person, so
All right. Good
um,
chat, boys.
I keep appearances. Yeah, keep appearances. So I would say jinxing won't matter. Probability is nice to be really transparent and honest. So I think most of us are honest what they think
Yeah.
about that. So that's a good thing.
Yep.
All right. All right. Good
Yep.
chat, boys.
In yeah,
Excited for the IPL season.
Yep. Let's try to get some pods
see you next.
in. Yes. Let's try to get some episodes in during the IPL and see like what we can top or what
Yeah.
games are there. I think mostly we'll be watching highlights for most of the games, but you know,
Yeah, because it is
Who
in
knows?
India.
We'll see.
The
yeah,
timings are pretty
yeah,
odd.
yep, 9 a.m. CST. But we might able to watch like if you are like working from home or something, you can watch it. Anyways, yep.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right. So in that case, we'll
Absolutely.
come back again after a week, right? So we'll
all right,
discuss all those things.
all
Nice
right.
talking with you guys.
Nice chat,
All right,
boys.
guys.
Talk to you
Good to
guys
catch
in the
up.
next episode.
Yeah.
Peace.